I am supposed to be doing NaNoWriMo this month, and I think I got a little carried away with filming videos instead. um, so, I like writing. I have always enjoyed writing since I was a kid, but I also suffer from some attention issues, and I don't. I have trouble finishing what I start. Um, I have done NaNoWriMo. Well, okay. I have attempted I have attempted NaNoWriMo every year since I was a teenager. Maybe 1 or 2 years I didn't, but uh, and I've never succeeded. Not even close. I think the most I got one year was like 15K. Um, And for those who don't know, I forget. Sometimes I forget there are other people watching, and I'm not just talking to myself, who knows everything about what I'm saying. Um, so NaNoWriMo, for those who don't know, is National Novel Writing Month, where you are supposed to try to write 50,000 words of a draft in 1 month's time, which is a lot of writing because it's like, I believe it maths out to about 2,700 roughly words a day. And I signed up for it again this year, and with every intention on writing, I have not written a single goddamn word. I have not touched my draft. Partially because I don't even know what to work on this year. I have a few story ideas. Okay, so I have 3 story ideas that I'm interested in doing. One of them I mentioned briefly in another video has to do with the Chronicles of Narnia. I have I loved Narnia when I was a kid. It was probably the first book series I fell in love with. It's my favorite present that I ever got for my Christmas/birthday was was a box set of the Chronicles of Narnia. And I'm really upset actually because I can't find them right now. We've moved around a lot of stuff in my room for various reasons. I really hope I didn't give them away. I don't think I would have given them away. That's the thing, is like I had a very crazy winter where I made a lot of decisions that I don't quite appreciate in retrospect. I really feel like I would not have chosen to give those away or throw those away. But I can't find them, which is unfortunate, because one of my ideas was I actually wanted to try. I I think the Chronicles of Narnia is one of the best examples of Christian literature because it is not a focus on purity culture. I think a lot of religious books um, struggle with the point of them being very like purity culture based. Like um, the worst side of Christianity is obsessed with purity culture, obsessed with cleanliness in words and actions, and not actually focused on the important shit that actually makes it something that is important for some people. There's a lot of Christian lit that kind of come away from it feeling it feels very vapid. It feels very thin, feels very struggling to find good words for this. It doesn't reflect the complexity of humanity, and I think that is one great thing about how C.S. Lewis viewed Christianity and wrote those books. Is yes, there are flaws in them. There are flaws. There are some things that are a little outdated. We're gonna just not talk about some of the depictions of certain races of people in them that is unfortunately has not aged well, and you know, think Mr. Lewis could have benefited from a little bit of sensitivity reading. But overall, I think those books have a great reflection of the humanity in Christianity, in the messiness of people, in the complexity of forgiveness, the complexity of love, the complexity of something that was always supposed to be complex and not supposed to be whittled down to something as thin and surface as it's become now. I have a great respect for the Chronicles of Narnia. And I had this idea of doing a rewrite of them, of all the books, to be queer, of rewriting the books to have more representation of disability, queerness, even better representation of people of color, which is something I will have to do research on, because that is not, again, as I've said before, that is not a perspective that I can speak to, and would require me to do some careful research and careful consideration, hopefully a sensitivity reader of my own. But I had this idea basically to rewrite the Chronicles of Narnia to be queer. And it's something that I'm calling the Queer Narnia Project. And it is a big project idea and very ambitious, and I have a terrible habit of making promises I can't keep and saying I'm gonna do shit that I can't do. I would like to do this one. This is one that I would like to do. I was actually planning on publishing it on AO3 because I think that's a good place for it. I think that AO3 and fanfiction in general has the potential to, a lot of teens read more of that than they read books. And I think that there can be some great writing on there, and I think that it's the perfect place for something like this project. I think it's the perfect platform for this idea. So, and I still have things I'm working out about that idea because one of my biggest concerns about it, I'm trying to figure out if I want to write it for the age group that it was originally intended for, or if I want to write it for like an older audience who like grew up with the books. And I'm still kind of deciding that. I think that I think there's value in both. And the thing is that I think there needs to be a lot more queer children's media. Kids need to be able to see themselves. Kids need to be able to see a version of themselves that exists where they can't find it. And there's not enough queer representation in stuff aimed at a younger audience. But that being said, it is also going on AO3. So, and you can tag, like, for those who haven't ever been on there, you can tag stuff according to, like what's appropriate or not. And you can publish stuff that is for a younger audience, but I can't decide if I more want to make something that someone who's young can read and see themselves represented in a story that I think should belong to everyone and not just cis, straight, white children. But I also do see some value in writing a story that is perhaps aimed at an audience who has been harmed by the religious narrative in our country for a while. I think there is also value in that, and I'm struggling to understand which direction to take that project. I don't know which is more important to me. No, that's okay. That is a terrible way to phrase it, because they're both important to me. Both things are important. It is so important for kids to see themselves represented. It is so important for kids to have access to representation, knowledge, understanding of who they are. My life would be so different if I had realized I was trans as a child, and been encouraged to explore those feelings, explore those desires. Crying that I wanted to be a boy and being told it wasn't possible locked me away for a long time. I think if I had been able to pick up a book that I could see myself, that I could see a young trans boy in, that I could see something queer. I didn't realize, realizing can't talk. Realizing I was bisexual was life-changing when I first realized it. It was my first experience with queerness, and it's why I prefer the term bisexual or pansexual, because it was the first term I ran into where I was like, that's me. That's what I experienced. Because I was like, oh, I can't be gay because I like boys. And then it's like, oh, you can like both. And not having access to that term before then, and if I had kept not having access to that term, I would have been closeted for a lot longer. It is so important for young people to have access to, and don't pretend like kids aren't on AO3. Like, don't pretend that young teens are not not on AO3. And there's stuff appropriate for them. If you're a parent and you're concerned, there is stuff that's appropriate for them on it. That's a whole thing with you and your child. And I know that parenting internet access is a complicated matter. It is not simple and straightforward. It's something that me and my partners wrestled with our kids. And I think we found a good solution, but every parent is going to be different. But regardless, I'm struggling to figure out what the audience for that should be, because there are two ways I could do it, and I don't know which one I want to do more. I'm not sure. Any feedback, if you have an opinion or you have thoughts on this, would appreciate feedback. I'm still trying to figure it out. In the end, I'll make the decision that I feel is best and that I want to do most, but I'm looking for perspectives, so if you have a perspective on that, let me know. So that's one of the ideas that I had for my NaNoWriMo project to be, is one of those books. I was even considering not starting with Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe. I was considering starting with a different one. But again, I'm still deciding. I have been deciding for a while. I don't do anything quickly. No, never mind. Oh yeah. And then I had this other idea, which was a queer fantasy novel that I had an idea about. Can't talk, man. Wish my mouth worked. Yeah, a queer fantasy novel. And that's an idea that I really want to write someday. Like that, if I could only choose to write one novel in my life, that is the one I would pick. But it is an extremely ambitious novel. Extremely ambitious. And I'm finding that I may possibly be an overly ambitious person who may not always have the means to achieve what I desire. So, it's very ambitious, and I'm very scared of starting it and then not having the skill to back up my ambition, and then it getting basically discarded. And I don't want to do that, because I think that is something that it's just an idea now, but it is something that I feel should be published. And if I am able to pull off what I want to with it, I think it would be a very valuable valuable book to have published. But again, I've had a very rough year, and I love my ambition. I love the drive to do big things. I love the drive to always do more, but I have to remember I'm human, and I have limits to what I can do. I have limits to what I can expect out of myself, and I have expected a lot out of myself this year, a little too much, and that can really put me back. So so that's a possibility. And then there's another idea I have that I had an idea to write a more personal story that was based on my trans experience, fictionalizing it, basically kind of getting some feelings out, getting some catharsis out by writing kind of a story that ties in my experiences of being trans and being queer, being closeted, being depressed, and struggling, and writing a story about it. And I want to title it Turtlefish. The name of this channel. I wanted it to have the same title because I think this channel has been the most me I've ever been able to be, ever in my life. I am addicted to making these videos. I wake up every day wanting to make a video. I wish I had so many more hours in the day to just film and film and film. It's given me so much energy. It's given me so much excitement. I get to see myself as David. I get to see myself in a way that nobody else in my life has ever been willing to see me as. And it's exciting. And it's one of the reasons I've struggled with writing, because I'm so excited to do this that I'm like, I don't have time for anything else. I couldn't possibly waste my time doing anything except making videos. I can't possibly waste my time. Writing? Oh, God. Terrible. It's not like I enjoy doing it, but yeah, the book Turtlefish. And the thing is that is a lot more personal of a project, and it is a lot more, it would be a lot lighter of a project also, because the other ones require a lot of research. And not that that's bad, but there is a selfish part of me that wants to write something easy and wants to write something kind of just for me. But I don't know. There's reasons why. There are reasons why I'm not sure if writing that is the best. Decision right now. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't even know if I'll write a single word this month. Maybe I'll be so obsessed with making these videos, not a single word will ever get written. But my hair's always a mess. It needs cut too. It's getting real long. But yeah, so yeah. But also something I wanted to say is it is NaNoWriMo. You are supposed to write 50,000 words in a month. But I also promised myself that I would never be perfect again. And what that means, the way I'm internalizing that for NaNoWriMo, is I can write anything except 50,000 words. If I write 50,000 words, I lose. I lose. So Any number of words is fine, as long as it's not 50,000. It can be 50,001, or it can be 0, which is what it's looking like right now because I'm just so focused on making videos. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because it's something I might start. I don't know which project I'm gonna work on. I don't know all of these except for the last one. The other two projects are things that I want to do at some point. They are things that I do want to do in my lifetime. It's just, is this year the time to do it? Is right now the time to do it? Or should I just keep enjoying making videos? Should I just focus on making videos for a while and say, you can write later. You can write later. You got time. I don't know. But I'm excited that I'm making things again. I've never been so excited to make things. I've never, ever been so excited in the things I've been doing. And I hope that comes across. I hope it comes across that I want to be here. I hope it comes across that even through the videos where I'm sad or angry or saying very negative things, that this is seeing myself be David is saving my life. This channel is saving my life. And I'm so fucking excited to just keep making stuff. I'm just so excited. Yeah, so if you have any thoughts on anything I shared about the novel ideas, I probably will talk more about them. If, whatever I decide on, I'll probably talk more about them. Yeah, so if you have any feedback, let me know. And I will take that feedback, look at it, and then I will decide what I want to do, because this is the first time I've ever been able to do things just for myself. And it feels good. It does. It feels great. So, yeah. All right. I'll shut up now. I've been talking long enough. I'm sorry for droning on so long, except I'm not. Really not. Really not.